All right, y'all. Well, I suggest that we get started. Um, an excellent. You have screen sharing power, Mary. So I'll just share a few housekeeping items and then I'll pass it over to you. So welcome everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. I'm Lindsay Gleason Reed. I'm the Assistant Director here at the Community Foundation of the New River Valley, and this is our monthly third Thursday session. These sessions are free and they're directed at nonprofit folks. We usually say it's for nonprofit leaders, but please use the term leader kind of loosely. It doesn't just have to be an executive director, for example, who attends. It can be anyone from a nonprofit who's interested or anyone from the community. The more the merrier at these sessions. We typically try to have these in person about quarterly, and the rest are on Zoom. And typically when we have them on Zoom, we record them and add them to our nonprofit resource library on the website. The recording is typically available in about a week or so. It just depends on the person processing the recording and the stuff on her plate, and that person is me. So if it's a little bit later than a week, you know that I am a little behind. But I'll send a note to everyone who registered when the recording is up. This is a busy season for the Community Foundation, although I'm not completely clear on when our slow season is, right, ladies? Always something going on here. So a few things that are coming up. And Jess, if you wouldn't mind keeping your eye on the waiting room to let folks in, thank you. So today we have this session this morning, and then we have our last Giving Day strategy session, which will be in Pulaski this afternoon. And folks are welcome to come to that if they would like. It will begin at 1 o'clock. We're sharing strategies with one another and kind of talking over the basics of the Giving Day. If you haven't been able to attend one of those sessions and you're participating in the Giving Day, or if you have additional questions, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. Always happy to answer questions or meet with you one-on-one. Part of why this time of year is so busy is we are preparing for the Giving Day. So we have 121 organizations participating in the event this year. Early giving for the event will kick off on June 1st. And so what that means is organizations can start fundraising for the event on that day and accepting gifts. The early giving period kind of all builds up to the main event, which is the Giving Day, which begins on June 25th at noon and goes till noon on the 26th. There's all kinds of incentive grants and prizes that folks compete for, and we're looking forward to having a bunch of you on this call join us this year. So lots going on there. And then another thing we're preparing for is to open our responsive grant application. And if you're not familiar with the responsive grant application, you can apply for that application if you serve the New River Valley and your organization is either a 501c3 or a unit of government like a library or an animal shelter, and you can apply for up to $4,000 in operating support. The application for that grant will open on May 30th and will close on June 18th at 5 p.m. And after this, when I send out the recording, I'll send out links to some of the things I'm talking about.
July 18th.
Did I say June 18th? I'm sorry, July 18th. July. Sorry, Laura, I have June on the brain. This is why you have a team to remind you of things. So yes, May 30th closes on July 18th at 5 p.m. So we hope that you all consider submitting an application for that grant. And to help you prepare for the grant, we are offering a grant writing workshop on June 12th from 9 to 11 at the Pulaski train depot. And we're about to open registration for that, so I'll be sending that out as well. So we hope that you're able to attend that. So I think I hit on all the main things that are going on. Best way to hear about our work is our twice monthly e-newsletter. So if you're not signed up for that, I recommend signing up for that. You can grab the link off of our website. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to our fantastic intern, Mary. She has been with us for a little over a year now, and she started with us when she was finishing up her undergrad at Radford last year. and she started her grad program in communications last fall. And she's been a really wonderful addition to the team, and we're just so happy to have her with her expertise, and just her overall merriness is wonderful. So looking forward to having her share some of her thoughts on social media. All right, Mary, I'll pass it over to you.
All right. Can everybody hear me? So, yes. Okay, great.
Yes.
Um, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. As Lindsay said, hi, my name is Mary. And today we are going to focus on visual communication on social media. And before I get too much into it, because I can talk about social media all day long, let me formally introduce myself. Like I said, my name is Mary. I've been interning at the Community Foundation for a year and some change, and I love working with nonprofits and doing social media. I've been working with nonprofits since my freshman year of college, and I've been doing social media since my sophomore year. So I've have a lot of I don't want to say expertise, but I have a lot of time doing social media. As you can see, here's a fun little picture of us in the newspaper last year. Hopefully we'll pop up in the newspaper again this year. And then, like Lindsay said, I'm also a graduate student in the strategic communications program at Radford. And here's just a little picture of me last year when I graduated with my bachelor's. And then this is my sister and this is my brother. So that's a little bit about me. Um, Going into our agenda for today, I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves because I want to get to know each and every one of you. And then I'm going to go into using your content to its full potential. And then we're going to go into graphics in Canva, which is super exciting. Love Canva. I'm a Canva advocate. And then we're going to go over videos and social media. And then at the end, I have some just like basic tips and tricks for everybody that we're just going to go over. So going into our introductions. So if we can just go around, share your name, what organization or organizations you are a part of. I know we're all very involved in the New River Valley. And then just share your favorite and least favorite thing about social media, and I can start. So my favorite thing about social media is that it allows you to be very creative and allows you to share personal stories and all of that. And then my least favorite thing about social media is probably just the social pressure that comes with it. It's unfortunate, but it is a thing. So that's my least favorite thing about it. So, does anybody want to go first?
I will go if nobody wants to. Can y'all hear me? Yes. Okay, perfect. So my name is Kelvin Gravely. I work with the Disability Resource Center of the New River Valley. I'm also a member of the Blacksburg Breakfast Lions Club. And let's see here. Positives of social media. I do think you learn about different groups around the community pretty easily. That's always a pro. The negatives, I'm not a fan of the ads that aren't related to what I'm looking for.
That's
My
very
name's Jeannie Lawrence. I'm with the Ronald McDonald House Charity, Southwest Virginia. And I will say my favorite is just being able to stay in touch with a lot of what's going on in the community. My least favorite, it is time consuming. There's so many pieces to the nonprofit business page of following likes and comments and just posting in general. So it's very time consuming.
Yeah, I'll chime in. Jean said time consuming. I'm going to say time suck. It becomes a huge time suck. I will confess some of that is because they keep throwing Leanne Morgan into my feed. I'm like gonna stop and listen. But it is it can be very distracting. As far as my favorite thing about it, I mean, it's free advertising and it does. I'm really creative and I love the opportunity to use creativity in every format, visual, video, audio, all of that stuff. So I think it's great for that. And I'm with Cardinal News. I'm Dutchie.
I'll go ahead. My name's Jen Scott, and I'm with the Virginia Tech Autism Clinic and Center for Autism Research. And my favorite thing about social media is being able to get the word out pretty quickly about things that we have going on. We do a lot of research recruitment and have some special events, so that's a nice way to share it. And I will also agree with the time suck. As we all are, we're all doing so many different things for our nonprofits, and I feel like if I'm not always like posting and liking and everything, then I don't really understand. Does that hurt the visibility of what's going on, like on Facebook and Instagram, which I assume it does. So
I'll jump in next. I'm Jenny Ayers at Literacy NRV, and I think my favorite thing about our page is just being able to interact with people who make comments, and it's fun to see that and to be able to have that kind of level of interaction. I think my least favorite is maybe building on what Jen said, but some of the uncertainty just we rely on it to get the word out about things, but I don't think it gets the reach, that it would. I think we think it has more reach than it does, but I get frustrated by being confused by that.
And I'm Joan Bolduc with the One-on-One Literacy Program. We're here in Southwest Virginia, and we serve Wythe and Grayson counties in the city of Galax. And I love having good internet connection, which we received way out here in the mountains about 3 years ago. So it's great having meetings like these and seeing all your faces and being able to interact virtually. And thank you so much for doing these meetings on the third Thursday.
I'll jump in. I'm Lisa Garcia. I'm with the New River Valley Time Bank, and I serve on the board of directors for Blackson Technology in Southwest Virginia, and a couple other nonprofits. The thing I like about social media is the opportunity to tailor the message to a subsegment of the audience. So if you want to find anything that's specialized, a particular interest or hobby or cause, you can find it on social media. You can find your people. What I don't like about it is it's too easy to spread information that may not be accurate. And so that's something that can make or destroy efforts like we're all working on.
I'll go next. I am also with the Disability Resource Center. My name is Cassie. My favorite thing about social media is just being able to get news out there or look to see what events are going on in the community. My least favorite thing right now is we actually had to start a new Facebook page because we've had some staff changes. So it's been trying to direct followers to our new page. So it's been like a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, especially after like posting in the old page that this page is going to be moving. So I think right now that's just on the top of my mind of what's going wrong.
I can hop on. This is Helen Wallace. I'm with Giles Health and Family Center. We use social media a lot more to promote what we're doing in our classrooms or hiring or just program specific. One of the areas that, excuse me, I struggle in is more the video component. I love Canva as well. That I'm a new Canva user for a couple months or maybe a year now, but I am not versed in chopping video, uploading it, and kind of getting fancy with things. So that's where I'd like to learn a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Kat Wittenberger with Mountain Valor. Sorry, no camera. We had a bunch of trees fall down in the flood yesterday, and I am completely covered in sawdust trying to clean those up. So gotta love having a farm on a mountain. So we are a new organization. We've only existed for a year, and trying to find our following on Facebook is challenging. We primarily support elderly vets, and what we're trying to actually find is their kids to help force mom and dad to come learn a little bit more about their resources. And that's a huge challenge. And one of my courses that I was in the other week mentioned that you basically have to post the same thing 7 times before 20% of your followers might actually see it. And it just feels so incredibly repetitive to me. But I have to remind myself that that's the only way anyone's going to actually see our information. So I guess that's the downside to it, is it feels like we're saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, hoping that folks decide that they like it.
Sweet. Was that everybody? I'm going to take that as a yes. Okay. I loved what everybody had to say. I definitely agree with a lot of the least favorite things. I definitely understand all of that, but I'm hoping that you guys will all learn something from this. And hopefully your least favorite thing will turn into your favorite thing about social media one day, besides the time I spend a lot of time on social media. It's unfortunate, so I get that. So moving into using social media to its full potential. So it's important to craft persuasive content using emotional appeals, factual information, credibility, and testimonials. And so with all of this that I'm about to go over in the next, in this slide and the next one, all of this information is based off of scholarly articles. I actually wrote a paper on nonprofits and social media. So this is all done through research, and it's very credible. It's not just something that I came up with. So moving into what all of that means. So your goal is to use simple tools and strategies to elevate your organization's media presence and better connect with your audience. So with that being said, emotional appeals, we want to use stories and visuals that resonate with the audience emotionally, as well as using factual information to present key data to build trust and credibility. And these two are very important because the way that people take in messages, we either use a peripheral route or a central route. And so with that, sometimes we look at something and we look at it more of the emotional, what it looks like, how it makes us feel versus the actual like factual information, which is like key data, like numbers and all of that. So that is very important to use both aspects when making your social media posts. And then moving into credibility. So credibility is also very important because with being a nonprofit, we are often seen as very like heartfelt and very like well, I don't want to say like not credible because a lot of organizations are credible, but unfortunately we have people who do scam people, which is very unfortunate. It's just the world we live in. So we have to maintain credibility within our organizations. I like to think that the Community Foundation is a very credible organization. So with that being said, when we go back into social media, we want to highlight those partnerships. So maybe you do have a partnership with the Community Foundation by tagging them or just recognizing your team members and their achievements, and just having that expert involvement and putting that all into social media will help you become or show your credibility or increase your credibility to your audience. So then moving into testimonials, we often want to share those real quotes and real experiences from those that you serve or impact, as well as just yourself. We often think of testimonials as we have to have somebody give us this like heart-wrenching story. But in reality, yes, that is so effective, but it's important to share your own testimonials. Why do you do the work that you do? Why are you involved with these organizations? Because oftentimes we want to know why people do what they do. And maybe that's just me being nosy, but I think we all have a passion for doing what we do. And so it's important to share those stories. So just some mock-ups that I made to kind of show you how all of this goes into social media posts. So here we have our amazing unofficial mascot, Rufus. And so we have this social media post. We have donate to the CFNRV. And then Rufus, our mascot, shares the Community Foundation is a great place to donate. The foundation gives back to so many in the New River Valley. Last year, they gave out X amount of money to nonprofits, students, and so much more. Don't miss out and donate on #GiveLocal NRV Giving Day, June 25th to 26th, noon to noon. So with this post, we have a credible source. Our credible source is Rufus. You could also replace this with your CEO or somebody or a team member or even just like a volunteer that everybody knows. And then with our factual information, that would be the sentence right here that says last year they gave out X amount of money. Because it shows that hard data. So then moving into one that's a little bit more emotional, we have a quote. I came up with this quote. The student did not say this quote. So don't go up to them and be like, hey, I saw that you made a quote. I made it up. So we have a picture of them, of course, and then we have a quote that says, without the CFNRV, I wouldn't be able to attend school and become the first person in my family to attend a 4-year college. So this is an example of a testimonial post, and then we have the emotional appeal of it. Although this quote might not resonate with you yourself, but as somebody, so an example, this would probably be an emotional appeal to somebody who is also a first-generation student, just because it would probably, I wouldn't know because I'm not a first-gen student, but I actually showed this post to my sister and I was like, how does this make you feel? Let me know. And she was like, I would feel a certain way because I am a first generation student and it would probably motivate me to want to learn more and potentially donate. And so with that, that's an emotional appeal. It might not resonate with you yourself, but it might resonate with somebody within the audience. So then moving into our making social media effective and simple. So this will hopefully help you create eye-catching graphics with zero experience. I like to say if you can drag and drop in Word, you can use Canva. I'm a Word hater, but if you use Google Docs, it's the same thing. So number one being our Canva basics. So you have your free version and your pro version. Fortunately, at the CFNRV, we do have the pro version, but I also have experience just using the free version. If you don't have the money or the budget to be able to get the pro version, you can do the same things essentially with the free. I mean, there's obviously going to be things that you can't use, but when I was in my undergrad, of course, I was a broke college student, so I only used the free version of Canva, and I was able to do a lot of this stuff that you can do with Pro just by looking up on Google, like free background removers, and all of that stuff. So it's you can use the free version, but I 110% recommend getting the Pro if you can. And then there's different templates. We have the social media templates where you can make flyers, and then you can also make like Instagram story templates or like Facebook story templates, which is pretty cool. And there's so much on there, and you'll look at it in a second when I go into Canva. So then with design tips, you want to use branding colors and fonts. So for us, our branding colors are like the dark blue, the orange, we have the light blue, or like I want to say it's aqua, it might be aqua, for our Give Local and NRV Giving Day stuff. And then we also just use Open Sans. So if you have branding colors, I recommend using those and integrating those within your graphics. If you don't have branding colors, maybe that's something to think about. What do you want your organization to be associated with, color-wise? And then for graphics, you want to keep your text short. You want to use the captions for the bulk of it. So for example, with the quote that I just showed you guys, I would probably put the quote there, but then I'd probably go into depth about the student in the caption. And then also, you don't always have to add icons or photos, but if you can, I would recommend it. People are more often to stop and look at a picture versus just a bunch of words on a social media post. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we're gonna go into Canva real quick, and I'm just gonna show you guys some basic stuff on there.
Hey, Mary, I'll just jump in real quick. So a couple of folks are pointing out to the chat that Canva Pro is actually free for nonprofits. You just have to submit proof that your organization is a nonprofit. So it's really awesome. And I'll also say, kind of echoing Mary, that you don't have to be a graphic design person to make something that looks nice in this. There's a lot of great templates. So it can be a little intimidating at first if you don't have that experience, but I recommend if you'd like some free graphic design help to go in and sign up and poke around, just like Mary's going to show us.
So slave Canva. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that nonprofits got Canva for free, which is great because now I'm gonna tell the nonprofit that I worked with during my undergrad to like definitely look into that because I was struggling with just the free version for like 3 years. So that's great to know. Anyways, so going into Canva, they actually updated it last week, so I haven't gone in and played with everything yet. But they added like a Canva AI, they added sheets and they added the photo editor. But for just like specific social media, they have the Instagram templates, they have if you click on social media, you can see all of the sizes. You don't ever have to actually like go in and like format it because it's already formatted. So here's your Instagram stories, Instagram posts, your Facebook post. They also have the Instagram Reels so that you can edit videos. A lot of the videos that I edit for the Community Foundation, I use Canva as well as CapCut. That's a whole different app. As you can see, there's so much on here. You can just play around with it. It also categorizes it for you. So you have the 4x5 post, which is newer for Instagram. I don't know how I feel about that one, but it's okay. I'm a square girl, but it's okay. So as you can see, it has everything, including LinkedIn, which is really nice. So yeah, you guys can see that. And then with LinkedIn, you can have you can edit your banners and everything, which is pretty cool. I used for my personal LinkedIn, I used Canva to create my own banner and stuff. So there's all of that. So we're gonna go into here really quickly.
Mary, do you just like the square format, or do you think that's better? Is it just personal preference, or?
It's personal preference for me, honestly. I think it's just because I'm just so used to it. And I don't know, I'm just like I'm more of like an even girly instead of a rectangle girly. But it works the same, and you can also just like resize it as well. When you make it into a square, you can resize it into a rectangle. So there's not really a difference. The rectangle looks more aesthetically pleasing on Instagram now since everything's changed. But I just like everything to be even. But I think that's just my OCD, to be honest. So yeah. So just going in with the basics, if for anybody who doesn't know how to use Canva. So first you have your designs. So you can look up templates. So you can look up holiday templates. It already has it all made. Let me do something real quick. There we go. So you can just click on it. Very simple. It brings it out and you can change the wording. You can move stuff around. Maybe my computer is so slow. I apologize. You can also delete stuff if it'll work. And then you can also look up a bunch of other things. Like if you're like, I don't know what's trending on Instagram, it's okay. Canva can help. Trendy Instagram posts. It'll pop up and you can just look up anything. Really, to be honest. You can look up events as well, and it'll show you a bunch of templates. Some of them, again, are pro, some of them are free. So yeah, and you can kind of just edit those as you want. And then we have our elements, which is where you can find these little graphics right here. And you can look up literally anything, it'll pop up. Like I was like going through this searching for random stuff. So like if you want to make a post that's Y2K themed, it'll have all of those graphics for you. Like, look at how cool that is. Like, that's so cool. As well as it has photos already lined up that you can use if you don't already have your own. And then it has your frames as well that you can just drag and drop some pictures into, which is pretty neat. And then it has videos, and then maybe if it'll load your audios, maybe. I apologize. My computer is going through it right now. As well as mock-ups. I don't really adventure into mock-ups, but it's there. As well as charts, but there's no charts for Y2K.
What is a mock-up, Mary?
So a mock-up is like, so if you have like a product or something that you want to like, or just like anything you want to show, like you don't want to take the time to like, take a picture of like your laptop like all set up, you can just use a mock-up and just like edit it and like insert what you want to show into it. So it's kind of like, a good example would be like a product. So if you have a cup and you want to tell people, oh, we have a cup with our logo on it, you could probably find a mock-up of a coffee cup or a Stanley or something, and then just like smack your logo on it instead of actually having to have the physical product. It's pretty cool. So then we have branding. Maybe it'll load. And so for us, this is our branding. We have our primary colors, our brand colors, and then our logos. And then we have you can upload stuff onto Canva. You can upload pictures, videos, and audios. So for us, this is what mine looks like. And then we have videos. And then we have audios. I don't have any audios. And then with tools and projects and apps, I don't ever use those. If you have time, you can totally go through those, but I'm not because I am not an expert at those. Let me delete this, maybe. All right. So to kind of just show you guys how you can effectively create graphics very fast and very like simple. These are all graphics that I turned into my own. So with this one, I made this. With this one, I created this one. With the phone one, I just changed up a couple of things very quickly, just changed the text, changed the font and stuff. As you can see, it does have like a little bar. It's the exact same thing as the one on like Word and the one on Google Docs. So it's very simple. You have your font and you can choose from so many different fonts. For us, we use Open Sans. You can change the size, the color, you can bold it, italicize it, underscore it, cross it out, capitalize everything. Uncapitalize, I don't think that's the word. You can change the alignment, and you can also change the transparency of it, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty neat. You can add effects, you can animate it, and then you can also change the positions of it. So if you want it to go backwards, you can make it backwards. If you want to pull it forward, pull it forward. And then with this one, I created this one. I just changed the font, how big the text was, and just the colors. And then I added, of course, the month. And then I couldn't find the template that I used for this one. But this is kind of similar. You can make the boxes bigger or smaller, and then you can also just change up the text. If I have time at the end, if you guys want, I can show you guys how I went through and changed them, but because it is 9:36 and I have a lot more content, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with our next thing on our agenda. But with all of these templates, I'm gonna share the link with you guys, so you guys can use these. You guys can do whatever you want, change the colors, change the pictures, change the quotes, however you want. We're not going to use them, so this is my gift to you guys, so you guys can get started with your social media presence and stuff like that. Okay. So moving into videos. So why videos? So videos are one of the most effective ways to capture attention, build trust, and tell your organization's story. So if you're not good at editing, that's totally okay. I hate editing videos. It's my least favorite thing. But I have to do it. It's a skill you have to learn. But if you don't have the time to learn the skills, that's okay. Or if you ever need help with learning how to edit videos, you guys can always shoot me an email if you guys ever need anything. I'm free all summer. I'm not in school, so if you guys need a one-on-one, just let me know. But with videos, if you don't want to take the time to edit them, just a very quick video. You want to keep your clips short, 15 to 60 seconds. You want to film vertically for mobile viewing, so it's up like this. Unless you're using like YouTube, you can film it like this. I recommend when filming to use your back camera, just because your back camera always is a little bit more clearer. But of course, if you're filming like yourself, you might want to use the front camera. And then you don't have to get super fancy or anything. You can use in-app tools to add music, text, and filters to your videos, as well as captions, I'm pretty sure. I think Facebook and Instagram do it for you, as well as on TikTok. So then just some tips for engagement. You want to start strong. The first 3 seconds matter, and I'm going to emphasize this one. You want to like grab the attention of your audience, because we're not in a time where people watch videos all day. I scroll on TikTok like nobody's business. It's so bad. I will spend hours just scrolling. I won't ever actually watch a full video unless it immediately grabs my attention at first. So using an attention grabber is important, and I have like a script later on that will show you kind of like what an attention grabber might look like. You want to include a call to action to your video. So whether that's at the end saying learn more, join us, donate today, etc. And then, like I said earlier, if you can add captions to your videos, it's for some reason, I actually read this in an article that people who add captions to their videos, people are more likely to watch them for whatever reason. I think it's just something that triggers something in our brain that makes us like sit there and actually read every single word. I can say that is true for me personally, because if a video has captions, I'll sit there and read the captions. But it might be different for you guys. But if you can, add captions. Canva, I'm pretty sure, will add captions to your videos. And then you can like go in and like change specific words if needed, as well as on TikTok. And you can also do it on CapCut, which is a whole other video editing app, which is pretty handy. I use CapCut for most videos. And then trendy videos will never fail. You don't always have to post trendy stuff and trendy videos and trendy TikToks and whatnot, but they do a lot for you, I will say, and we'll get into that later on.
Hey, Mary, I'll just jump in on captions. It's true that I agree that it's true that people are more likely to watch a video with captions, and part of it is think about all the times that you're watching a video on your phone on silent, or if you're in a crowded space, it helps you watch the video for longer. Captions are also essential for accessibility purposes. So if someone is deaf or hard of hearing, and that's why I forgot to mention at the beginning, we always had the automated captions going on our Zoom meetings. They don't get everything perfect, but they help folks who are deaf or hard of hearing or in a crowded space. I'll also add with captions, social media has finally caught up to doing the right thing, where Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn have auto captions playing automatically. So a user can toggle them off or on. And then at least I'm pretty sure you can go in and edit those captions once they're done. So you don't have to do the work to write out a caption. If you've ever done that, transcribing text is very time consuming. So just as an FYI, those social media platforms are finally doing something that people have been honestly screaming about for a long time, to make them their platforms more inclusive for everybody.
Yeah, that's a really good point as well. Anyways, moving into just some video ideas that you guys can use. As you guys probably just watched that entire video while Lindsay was talking, day in my life videos are very popular right now. And these videos kind of just give the audience the opportunity to see what it's like to volunteer or work at your organization. So for this one, I did this one actually for Radford University. They reached out and were like, "Can you share your intern experience?" So I made the little video. I did have to do a lot of editing for this one, but if you don't want to edit anything, you can also do Instagram takeovers on your Instagram stories and Facebook stories. And you can kind of just like take people with you throughout the day, whether that's like taking a quick video being like, "Hey everybody, like today we're gonna be doing X, Y, and Z," or just taking pictures and being like, starting my morning off with my morning coffee, and then the next one being like, "Oh, I made it to work, say hi to the team," type stuff. So there's multiple ways you can approach it if you don't want to edit videos. My second one is impact stories. So these can be quick testimonials or just a member briefly sharing how your organization has helped them. So for us, you guys will eventually see this video on social media if you don't follow us. Totally do at the Community Foundation at the New River Valley on all platforms. Shameless plug. And so these can be very quick. These videos were less than a minute each. As you can see, it played very quickly. Of course, I added the wording at the bottom, but you don't have to do that. And so these can be very quick. They don't have to be 5 minutes. They can be, like I said, a minute, and it will get the whole story. So then B-rolls. I love B-rolls. B-rolls are my favorite. So these can consist of just videos at events, people handing stuff out, literally whatever. Literally, a B-roll can be whatever you want it to be. And you can just simply post this, and you can use the caption to describe or summarize what is happening or what happened. So for this one, my caption would probably be, last Monday, this was actually like a couple months ago, but it would probably be last Monday, the Community Foundation of the New River Valley held a workshop for our Give Local NRV Giving Day. People learned about X, Y, and Z. Make sure you stay in tune with what's going on and make sure you sign up before the deadline, which is X date. Very simple, and it just describes everything that was going on. So then just straightforward videos. This can be you simply just sitting down and just talking to the camera like we did for our prize drawings. I had Lindsay and Laura sit down and explain what was going on. They pulled out the prizes and it was very simple. I did minor editing to this one. It was the easiest video I've done in the past year. And you can use these for thank you videos, saying thank you to the community, thank you to the to donors, whatever you want. It can also be used for storytelling and just even just talking about an event as well. So you can really just do anything. All it takes is just set up your camera, have somebody record you, and just record the video.
Mary, there's a couple questions in the chat. So Kelvin asks, is ideal caption placement at the bottom of the video?
I would say yes and no. Personally, I like to put it at the bottom depending on what the video looks like. So with the video of the scholarship recipient talking, it just fit a lot better at the bottom versus in the middle. So it might differ between videos and stuff like that. But I think it
Yeah,
really
I agree with that. Sorry, Mary, I agree that it depends like what's on the video, and sometimes you'll move it around and you're like, oh, that doesn't look right, or it's covering someone's face or something. And then Helen asked, does Canva do B-rolls?
like, can I get clear?
So yeah, Helen,
I
could
don't
you
understand
clarify
what a
that one a little?
B-roll is. That that term is not familiar to me.
Okay, I got you. So B-roll is just a very quick pan of what's going on. So if you're at an event, you can just pull out your camera and then you just screen the room. And it can go left to right, or you can do like the trendy stuff and just go from up and down like that. So it's just a really quick pan of the room or whatever. And that's simply what it is. That's all it
Okay,
is.
perfect. Thank you.
Sorry,
No,
I'm
that's okay. That's the generic. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's the purpose for these classes.
Yeah, it's a good question, Helen. I think I want to say B stands for background, right, Mary? Or yeah, I think that's what it is. It's also something that you'll see on the news too. You're just kind of trying to capture the environment, and it's not like an interview with somebody. One more question for you, Mary. And Kelvin, you might need to explain this one. Do you mind unmuting and just asking the Instagram button controls question?
Yeah. So when you put your captions, I wouldn't want it to, I don't know, interact or go counter to what the button controls for the different platform you're using. So if Instagram's buttons are at the bottom, should you go higher to avoid that? Should you use the top to avoid it?
Lindsay might have a better answer just because I don't pull captions from any social media. I usually put it into CapCut or Canva and do it there. So Lindsay might know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Kelvin, when you say Instagram controls, do you mean like the reaction buttons and comments? Sorry to be dense.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. So the video actually sits above those always, so it wouldn't interfere. And so I don't think that's a good question though, because like when you press on a reaction button, it kind of pops up a little bit, but I don't think that will interfere. That's a good question. And then Kat coming in to save us all with that to confirm that B-roll is background roll. She says it's your cutaways and overall atmosphere imagery. Thank you to one of our marketing experts on the call. Appreciate it, Kat.
So slay. What great questions, guys. So like I mentioned earlier, here's like a quick sample script that you guys can use for your videos. So I'm gonna read it how I would read it in a video. I would probably go 250 families. We served 250 families this month. Thank you to everyone who participated in our event. Your time and donation helped us serve those 250 families. Want to get involved? Check us out at blank blank. So with this script, you have your attention getter, which is the 250 families, which also serves as your factual information. Just saying that number with enthusiasm, people are probably going to be like 250 families. What are you guys talking about? And then we have our thank you, which is could technically be an emotional appeal. You can thank people. I think it just depends on the audience. And then you have your call to action at the bottom, which is want to get involved. Check us out at blank website. So then moving into some just quick tips and tricks for everybody. Getting testimonials. So I know it can be a little hard getting testimonials, but I like to think of it as the worst thing they can say is no. At our scholarship event, I actually asked some students if they could, give me maybe a testimonial, and I had an entire table to tell me no. And that hurt my ego a little bit, I will say. But it was okay because at the end of the day, the worst thing I can say is no. And I went on to the next table, and the next table was like, yes, absolutely. And I was like, great, thank you so much. But with testimonials, my advice for you guys is just to contact those volunteers, contact specific individuals, or simply just ask in person. I know that sometimes people might not want to share their stories. They might want to keep themselves a little bit more anonymous, which is perfectly fine. That is very respectable of them. But you can always ask your volunteers to share any stories that have been shared with them, or maybe like how volunteering makes them feel or why they even do it. And I think that goes into my second point, of course. So if they don't want to, you can always share your own story on how you got involved, your own testimony. People always want to know what and why you do what you do. And also, I think it's just cool to just know why people do what they do, you know? Especially since like with nonprofit work, not everybody has the passion, not everybody has the time to do that. And so I think it's important to highlight those aspects between staff members and stuff. So I expect to see all of your testimonies on social media because I'm nosy and I want to know. So then just growing your audience. So with this, I understand social media can be hard to grow. You don't have to go viral. It's just to increase your engagement and just your audience. So I recommend engaging with others. So you want to like people's posts. You want to comment on people's posts. You want to share their post. You can simply ask people like, hey, can you share this post that we just posted on our social media? And you can send it to them, DM them. We do this at Radford. I run my department's social media. And so we do this a lot, and that helps us reach a broader audience because different departments will share. And of course, it's hitting, you know, different groups of people on campus. So you can do that as well. And then for Facebook, you can also just share it on community pages. So like on the Everything Christiansburg, Everything Radford, whatever they are, you can always just share it and be like, hey, everybody, my name is blank and I work for blank. And we're having this event, share it with your friends. You're more than welcome to come, etc. Because of course, with that, so many people are on those pages. And so you'll probably reach a lot of people on there. Posting consistently. I recommend trying to post 2 to 3 times a week or at least once a week. I know we don't always have content to post, but just like a simple picture of being like, happy Monday. How's everybody doing? Keep your eye out for an event that we're going to be posting. Something very simple to just keep that consistency up. Using hashtags. I recommend using hashtags. This will help you pop up on other people's algorithms when it comes to social media. And if people look up those hashtags, your post will pop up, and we'll go into that in a further slide. And then just trendy content. I know I said that before. You don't always have to post trendy content, but those popular trends will often help drive attention to your page. And I'll go into that in a separate slide as well. So with hashtags, so you want to use hashtags that relate to your content. Other people are always looking up hashtags for schools, locations, ideas, and so much more. As somebody who is, I don't want to call myself a photographer because I don't do it like consistently, but I'm always looking up for locations in the New River Valley. So I'll probably hashtag the New River Valley or hashtag photography in the New River Valley. And that's where I kind of get most of my locations. So by using hashtags correctly, you can pop up on other people's searches, driving your engagement and reach. So I looked up hashtag New River Valley or NRV, and we were the 8th, I think, post to pop up, which is pretty crazy because I wouldn't have known if I hadn't looked it up. But using those hashtags is super important because, as you can see, people are constantly popping up. And so with hashtags, you can use hashtag New River Valley, hashtag nonprofits, hashtag Blue Ridge Mountains, hashtag Christiansburg, and hashtag whatever fits your post. And so with that, they can be lowercase, but for accessibility purposes, you want to uppercase each new word. So for New River Valley, it'd be uppercase N, uppercase R, uppercase V. And that just makes it easier for people using a screen reader to be able to read through that. So then moving into trendy content. So trendy content is essential when wanting to attract followers and engagement. Like I said, you don't always have to use it, but it will help drive people to your page. So for example, this post, I posted it on my department's social media, and it was a meme going around on TikTok, and it's like, when finals start this week, but you're just a chill guy ready to pass all your finals. This post alone was shared 13 times from students in other departments, and it reached 1,833 people. And it is our #1 post this year, which is surprisingly crazy to me because it's just a simple meme, but it literally did so much for our page. We had so many people follow us, which is pretty amazing. So that just, shows how important it is to do trendy content, but you don't always have to do it. And I also understand that keeping up with trends and stuff is really hard, but if you post once in a while, it will help you increase your media presence. And then this is just another video that I saw on TikTok the other day. It's actually so funny. I love it. And this is a very like straightforward like video. And so I'm gonna play it for you guys. Hopefully you guys can hear it.
Touch me again and you're going to find out exactly who I am. Hi, I'm Kendall Paul, CEO of the Vanderbilt Humane Society. If you were looking to adopt a new friend,
That was like one clip, no editing needed, and it grabs your attention at first. I mean, you're like, oh my God, what's happening? I want to see is she gonna fight her? It has the call to action saying, hey, if you're looking for a new furry friend, that's their call to action. And it's just fun and trendy and very easy to record. So in conclusion, I know I went over a lot. I apologize, but I understand that social media can be overwhelming. Even for myself, I've been doing social media for so long and I still find it overwhelming. I sometimes feel like what I post doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, you just have to believe in yourself that if you put your mind to something, you can do it. And I think that's just the mindset that you have to have with social media, sometimes. And I believe in each and every one of you. I think that each and every one of you can create a beautiful graphic, reach everybody that you want to reach, and whatnot. So I know it is 10 o'clock. So if you have to go, I'm so sorry I took up the entire hour. If you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to ask. But if you guys ever need any help, ever need just like a one-on-one type moment, I am more than happy to do it. I'm more than happy to sit down, meet with you guys, just for my like own personal will, just because like I love giving back to the community, and if I can give back in that way, I would love to. You guys can shoot me a message on LinkedIn. It's just my name, or you guys can email me at my email with the Community Foundation. So that is all that I have for you guys today.
Thank you so much, Mary. That was great. And thanks to everyone who asked a question in the chat. We'll compile a follow-up email and send out some of the links to resources and the slides, as well as the recording to the today's session that will come out, be emailed out in probably a week or so. And yeah, if there's, and please think of Mary as a resource. We are really, really grateful to have her on our team. She's been such a great asset for the Community Foundation, and you all can see why. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon on social media, and hopefully see you in person soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
thanks, Mary.
Good job, Mary.
Oh, thank you.